open up a chant. Ow, ow. Shoulda, when you tossed and toying. Yeah, yeah. The way she make the congregation swing.
Check. Mic check, mic check. Alright! What is up, everybody? I am back. I missed all of you. If you haven't already guessed by me being on on Twitter or on Discord, I just went to London recently. And I have it, right beside me. I have Big Ben behind me. Buckingham Palace, at least I think that's Buckingham Palace. I visited both of them. I think this is all, Thames. But I will get into the details of my London trip. So yeah, we were there for 4 days. Little ups, little downs. But it was a lot of fun. There's a bit of a culture shock. I wasn't doing much of the drive. I wasn't doing any of the driving. My stepdad was. Having grown up in America, we all drive on the right side of the road, as you would have guessed. Because I'm sure most of my audience here is American. So he had to get accustomed to driving on the left side of the road with the wheel on the right side. I can't imagine myself driving like that. So you can imagine how hard it was for me to see my stepdad trying to drive. We've actually gone over curbs at times trying to drive like the British do. One of the, I'm trying to remember, trying to think right now. Oh man, there's a lot to cover. I don't know what I want to start with. So, first time we arrived in London, there was this fancy apartment we stayed in. And I really liked staying in this apartment. Getting there wasn't much of a hassle. We had our own room. We being me and my brother. A friend of mine came along too. He had his own room. My parents had their own room, along with baby Snow. So, staying in the room wasn't much of a hassle. We even got to, buy some snacks and, store them in that apartment. And I'll tell you what, I bought so much pepperonis, I don't even know where to begin. I remember I bought, 3 pepperonis. I had one and I thought it was great. My mom didn't like them though. I guess something about the flavor is kind of, was, off-putting to her, but I thought it was really good. I thought it was like a Slim Jim. Personally, I actually like the really spicy ones better. There's hot and fire stick. And I bought a lot of those and I brought them home. Apparently, you don't actually have to refrigerate them. You can take them out of the fridge, in and out of the fridge, whenever you want. I think it's really cool. You always wanted to try one of those. Yeah, if you can, I'm sure there's a place online that will, import them to you. They shouldn't be hard to transfer by mail. Turn down the music. Okay. Alright, okay. So, like, I bought over the trip, I was like, you know me, I don't know if you know me, but I really like commercials. I love commercials. I love watching old commercials on YouTube. So one day in high school, I stumbled across a compilation of pepperoni commercials, and they were hilarious. I can actually remember the first time I saw pepperoni. I mean, Wilkins coffee. It was like, I was in the 5th grade in elementary school. I stumbled across some old Jim Henson type video, and he was showing off some of the work he did before the Muppet Show. And among them were, he used to do local commercials for Midwestern states. And one of these was a Wilkins coffee commercial about, with this Kermit-looking motherfucker using a camera to quote-unquote shoot pictures of people who don't drink Wilkins coffee, and the purple Elmo-looking motherfucker's like, I'm ready, shoot! And then literally shoot. Oh yeah, I love the Randy Savage commercials for Slim Jim. But yeah, in Wilkins Coffee, the Kermit guy literally shoots the Elmo guy with this camera gun. I was laughing my ass off. This was when I was like 11 years old. Like I said, 5th grade. Back in 2011, I like to say. So I looked up more commercials, and there was this compilation. They were of lower quality. I think later on, people started uploading them in higher quality. But, yeah, I viewed all these commercials, and I was, like, dying laughing. I remember dying laughing, and I was like, I showed my mom them, and I was like, I went up to my mom, and I was like, oh my god, Mom, you have to watch these. And, like, both of us were just dying laughing, because most of these commercials were literally just about this frog guy killing this Elmo-looking guy because he wouldn't drink coffee. Okay, buddy, what do you think of Wilkins coffee? I never tasted it. Then he points the cannon at the audience and threatens them. It's messed up. It's like, you could never make commercials like that these days. They all have to be so corporate and bland now. And I realize I'm spitting a lot trying to make sound effects. So, like, a lot of these, so around this time, I also went to a field trip to a planetarium. And I remember telling everyone on the bus about Wilkins coffee and just quoting the commercials word by word. And one of these commercials actually almost got me in trouble because, you know, it did involve a gun, and this was back when I didn't know what school shootings were. So there was this one commercial, like, you want to run against the Wilkins coffee party? Start the race. On your mark, get set, go. Haven't been one of those in ages, and neither have I. Like, do people even go to planetariums anymore? Just, I was like quoting commercials word by word and just dying my ass off around other kids. I almost got in trouble for one of them because it involved a gun. Because like I said, I was like I was in the 5th grade and I was 11 years old. I didn't know what school shootings were. I didn't know they were like a widespread issue. But I was doing it in lunch. And I think this was the day after the planetarium, because these commercials were still fresh in my mind. But I remember during the planetarium, all throughout the trip, I would have these commercials in mind. So now, every time I watch these commercials, I would think of that time, and I would think of other times, because often I always go back to them. And one of the times I went back to them was when I was in I want to say it wasn't Massachusetts, it was somewhere in Ohio, I think. A retirement home for my... No, wait, no, I think it has to have been in Massachusetts. Because that's where my stepdad is from, and, like, his father... his grandfather was in a nursing home. These commercials were fresh in my mind again, and so I was talking to the family while I was staying in a room. I guess they had, like, a guest room there or something. And I was talking to him, we were talking about the commercials, and he thought the one with the electric chair, like this chap here mentioned, that joined March, was talking about. He thought the electric chair one was the darkest. And I can understand why. So yeah, there's a lot of memories I've made throughout the years thanks to the internet. Back at my old place. It was like 6 years ago since I moved into this place. My whole internet career, which was before VTubing, started at my old house. I think a lot of my personality was developed back at the old house, and this is where Pepperami comes back again, because back in high school, when I discovered these commercials, I think I discovered them because somebody on the comment section of a compilation of Fruit Twistables commercials, which are exclusive to this country, not this country, but America. Because I have nostalgia for Fruit Twistables. I used to eat them all the time in preschool. And these commercials would come on all the time in when I was a little kid, a little one. Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. I know commercials are kind of evil, but when you think about it, they kind of have a place in our hearts. And I feel that's, Pepperami has a place in the hearts of Britners. So, like, I discovered... First one I actually watched was one about the little sausage guy jumping into a blender and spraying himself all over a bowl of noodles for pepperami noodles. I remember dying laughing because of the way he talked. He was like, "Nice dive for a swim." So, again, like Wilkins Coffee, I started searching up more commercials, and I will never forget one of the first commercials was literally just a sausage guy popping in out of nowhere and going, "Ah!" Sausage Party. Oh, that movie fucked me up. I love adult animation, but Sausage Party was just a bit too much for me. Like, it tried way too hard to prove that it wasn't a kid's film. Like, something like Heavy Metal didn't need to prove itself that it was an adult animated movie. Like, it was just naturally adult. Because it was based on an adult comic book. And I have the DVD of Heavy Metal. I love watching it. It's one of my favorite movies, even. And see, like, these days I'm all about physical media, not just like manga or graphic novels, like DVDs and Blu-ray. Especially since Netflix and other streaming services are getting rid of a lot of my favorite things. Like, Netflix is getting rid of Jaws, and Jaws is locked behind a paywall on Peacock. And it's like $190, and I'm like, fuck no. And if you've seen on Discord, I found a copy of Jaws in my local Walmart, because every Friday I like going to Walmart to see if there's any more DVDs. I think soon I'm going to think about getting the Dirty Harry collection on DVD. Because Dirty Harry is one of my favorite movies of all time, and once again also inspired by VTuber Persona. Just, I don't know, fuck streaming. Streaming's really only good for binge watching live action TV shows and anime. And we know that and we all know they're not gonna get rid of like serialized TV crime dramas. And they're not really gonna get rid of anime either, but to my surprise, I found out Netflix silently got rid of Cowboy Bebop, and I was pissed, because that's, like, my favorite anime of all time. So, I saw that at Walmart, and I picked that up. But Evangelion is on Netflix still. But there's one thing about it that ruins it for me. The ending was completely replaced. Like, the ending song, Fly Me to the Moon. But at least Cruel Angel's Thesis is still on. I took the public bus to get to high school, and I would sometimes drop by Wally World. I don't know what that means. To see if they had the new Skylander figures. Ah, Skylanders. Ain't that a deep cut? I used to see commercials for those all the time, but I was never interested in them. I think if I recall correctly, they were related to the, oh, sorry about the sound. I'm playing with a pair of handcuffs I got at Five Below. I meant Walmart, lad. All right. Walmart is evil, but they have the best prices in town. So them and Target have like the best prices in town. But my local Target doesn't sell DVDs anymore, and I'm pissed about that. But they do sell figures. I've gotten some figures from them. Usually I like going on Best Buy or Amazon for figures. Or there's a local figure store. No, wait. This figure store is actually not local. It's like 30 minutes away from me. It's at another mall. A mall that me and my brother like going to when our local mall is just too repetitive and cliched to go to. I go to Aldi. I get a lot of my food from Aldi. There were actually quite a few Aldis in the UK, in London. Oh, so many notifications popping up on my phone. My mom just got home. Life 360. These days I'm all about physical media, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get the Dirty Harry movies on Blu-ray, because they're not on streaming. Winn-Dixie. Yeah, I've heard of Winn-Dixie. I've been to Florida before, and there's Publix. There's like a Publix on every street in Florida, and I really like Publix. I like their chicken. My brother is crazy about it. But in London, they have a place called Tesco. And Tesco is, it has a very specific setup that American grocery store chains just don't look like. It was like going into another dimension. It really was. It felt different, but like you wouldn't think so. It felt different and didn't really look different. So at Tesco, I ended up getting a lot of pepperonis. And I'll get back into pepperoni later and why it was important to me. But I want to talk about Tesco in London real quick because like it really was an experience going there. And I'm just realizing there's no music. I don't want to just play the Liberty Bell March over and over again just because it's UK based. Yeah, no, Tesco is like exclusively British. It's a very nice store. I also got a British Mountain Dew. And it was a lot different from our Mountain Dew. Like, its flavor was less intense, and they don't use corn syrup. It had a much lighter taste, and I think I prefer America's Mountain Dew, even though, I don't like the fact that they use corn syrup. I would rather sodas use real sugar. And if there's one good thing I have to say RFK Jr. is doing, is that he wants to get rid of corn syrup. Because that shit's just bad for you. Other than that, fuck RFK Jr. I've always tried to make it, whenever possible, I always like trying to get Coke that's made with sugar instead of corn syrup. And whenever I'm in a mood for like a Jack and Coke or a rum and Coke, I always like using non-corn syrup Coke. Oh yeah, they definitely have better Cadbury. I had Cadbury mini eggs, and they were so good. Oh, speaking of chocolate, I also found Mars bars, which, you'd think they're like Snickers without the peanuts, right? But eating Mars bars in the UK, oh my god, they're so much better than our chocolate products. I brought some home. I want to make deep fried Mars bars because they're a delicacy over in the UK, especially in Scotland. America gets stereotyped as this country where there's so much fat in food. But you look at, like, British diets, and they're really not much better. Like, they eat a lot of fried shit, too, and fatty shit. But the difference is, British food actually tastes like real food. I'm sure they'll import them. Mars bars are absolutely delicious. UK-based Mars bars. And they're more than just Snickers without the peanuts. Like, the chocolate was, like, perfectly rich. The nougat was, how do I describe it? It was, like, it melted in your mouth, and the caramel, like, was mouth-watering. I first had one because, my brother is, he has autism, and he's into trains. A friend of mine also has autism, and he's into trains. So, while we were in London, we visited one of the most famous railways in all of Britain. Bluebell. That's it. So there was a snack area, and not only did I get a Mars bar, but I also got a Fanta. And their Fantas are a lot different over there than they are over here. Like, they actually taste... I think the lighter taste of UK Fantas are better than our strong tasting Fantas. It really fits better for the kind of soda it is. Like, say, for Mountain Dew, a more intense taste is better for that kind of soda. You want an intense taste for Mountain Dew. And that's why it pairs very well with Doritos, which are also similarly intense tasting. A lot of British versions of American snacks don't have as intense a flavor. But in regards to Fanta, I actually like the lighter taste of their Fantas better. I don't know. I had a lemon soda there. They don't have a lemon flavor over here. It was like a fizzy lemonade or like a CC lemon from Japan. Except I think CC lemon uses corn syrup. I'm sure there's some British food products that use corn syrup, but like sodas don't use corn syrup. They actually use real sugar. But, like, one of the nights we stayed, we had British Domino's, which is supposedly much better than the Domino's over here. And I got an orange Fanta, and it was like a fizzy Tang. It was like a carbonated Tang. It was so much better. You haven't tried deep fried candy bars. I haven't tried one either. I'm going to try making them myself. They sell those at Disney Springs. I'm sure they do. One of my favorite snacks to get at Disney is a turkey leg. I really like roasted turkey legs. Because, you know, I like meat. Which is also why I wanted to, try pepperami. Never tried Domino's. I think we had one of those near my grandmother's place. Yeah, Domino's it's not really anything special. It just exists. I mean, it does in a pinch, but that's about it. But, like, UK Domino's is, oh my god, so much better. They have garlic and herb sauce, which is, like, probably the best pizza sauce I've ever had. Or best pizza dipping sauce, should I say. It kind of tasted like garlic ranch. But, like, it really is as good as people say. It was, like, the whole thing, it actually tasted like food and not, like, fat and butter and shit. I love garlic. I actually just had a chicken tikka masala with garlic naan earlier. But you know that always tastes like food. I wanted to go to an Indian restaurant in London, but we never had the time. I did go to a pub, though, with authentic fish and chips, and, like, they were a dream. It was like a big breaded piece of cod and fries that just melted in your mouth with a squirt of malt vinegar. And the tartar sauce was like, the tartar sauce. It was like a dream. Something else I really liked going to the UK, even though it's not really exclusive to it, was crepes. Like, there was a crepe stand near the London Eye. The crepe guys. Twice I got a crepe stuffed with chocolate and strawberries with whipped cream. and eating it, it was like heaven. I don't think any crepe place in America could top how those crepes tasted. Of course, the British version of fish and chips is superior. Because that's, that's the birthplace. But when it comes to the chips, the fries, you gotta have some malt vinegar with them. They really just melt in your mouth. It bursts of flavor. You always have to have them with malt, and you always gotta have the fish with tartar sauce. Otherwise, you're basically just eating breaded fish and fries. No, you want fish and chips, you gotta have it with tartar sauce and malt vinegar. Which I'm sure they use in the tartar sauce, though. But, the chips, you have to squirt... You either have to squirt or dip malt vinegar in them. And they taste like they just completely get sucked into your mouth. It's like an explosion of flavor. And they pair really well with beer, I think. I had a brand of ale called London Pride. I remember having a cup and a half. It was really good beer. If I remember correctly, after that we watched a little bit of Wallace and Gromit because that was on BBC iPlayer. I'm thinking of getting some Wallace and Gromit on Blu-ray as well because none of those are streaming here. We don't have a BBC iPlayer. I mean, sure, you could definitely stream Doctor Who on Netflix or something. And Doctor Who, I have no plans on getting on DVD because it's like a million episodes. But, and see, yeah, that's why I won't ever buy One Piece DVDs either. But that's beyond the point. You'll definitely find, I think it's streaming on Disney Plus. Let me look it up. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. I don't know why it is. But I have no plans on watching the entire thing. I love Wallace and Gromit. I love how dry its humor is. I really like dry humor. I know some of my hitmates here would probably prefer more wet kind of humor, like slapstick. But you give wet, dry humor a chance, it really, I'm the kind of guy that likes dialogue and physical type humor. And as you know, I'm really keen on dark comedy, and a lot of my content reflects that. Like my own manga has a mix of dark comedy and some dry humor here and there. But Wallace and Gromit, none of the shorts are streaming anywhere here in the U.S. And I think it's a shame because they're, very seminal pieces of animation. Oh, if you want another really good non-US based piece of stop motion, Mary and Max. But that's Australian. Mary and Max has probably the best depiction of autism spectrum disorder I've ever seen in fiction. Oh, the most recent one, A Vengeance Most Foul. That's a really good movie. I think Curse of the Were-Rabbit was better, but I had a lot of fun watching that. It was great seeing Feathers McGraw coming back. And he's Fevers McGraw is my favorite Aardman villain, next to maybe Mrs. Tweedy from Chicken Run. And I love me Chicken Run. Chicken Run was, I think that was a movie that really got American audiences into Aardman. I think. Gotta give it to Jeffrey Katzenberg on that. It's actually surprising to know that movie came out before Shrek went, which really put DreamWorks on the map. Thing about Chicken Run is like it's definitely silly. Like, it's not a vegan movie by any chance. The creators just thought it'd be funny to make The Great Escape but with chickens. And what do you know, the concept really worked. Nick Park and someone else. I only know Nick Park. I can't remember the other guy. But basically everything made at Aardman is by him, Nick Park. I actually think some former Aardman animators did some of the Pepperami commercials, because they were stop motion as well. But sometime in the 2000s, they started using, like, CGI. Or, like, some of them were CGI and some of them were stop motion. This one commercial where the Pepperami guy literally sends his son off to die, that was CGI. I think that was the second one I've seen, and once again, that commercial made me laugh my ass off, because he was just a psychopath. Ah, little Junior's first day at school, and is lost. Literally just sends his son off to die, get eaten. Oh yeah, I love Flushed Away. That was made to appeal to American audiences with, like, its more wet style of humor. Is that even a thing, wet humor? There's, like, it was more loud and bombastic at times, but it also had some of the dryness that Aardman is known for. I love both kinds of humor. I do. So seeing them both come together, a British-American, like, mishmash, that's why Flushed Away was really appealing to me and my brother back in the day. Fun fact, The Cruise was originally going to be a totally different movie based on a Roald Dahl book, but shelved after Flushed Away flopped at the box office. Yeah, Flushed Away bombing at the box office is why DreamWorks and Aardman don't work together anymore, which I think is a shame, because I think I'd love to see more future projects between the two. Although we got Pirates, an Adventure with Scientists with Columbia, and I think that was a great movie. I can't imagine that movie working with DreamWorks at the helm. I think Columbia collaborating with them on that movie is why that movie worked the way it did. I mean, it's still purely Aardman, but I'm pretty sure Columbia had some kind of creative input into it. Like, because DreamWorks had creative input in Chicken Run as well, but not as much as, like, say, Flushed Away, which was definitely meant to appeal to audiences who are more used to DreamWorks' style of bombastic humor. Yeah, Hugh Jackman and Ian McKellen. I'm not sure if it was even a coincidence, because in the beginning of the movie, they make a Wolverine joke. There's our main character, Roddy, when he's going through the outfits, one of them is a Wolverine outfit, and he's like, he wants to choose between this or fancy looking tux to go out on a movie with one of his dolls. Just, man, what a nostalgic trip. My brother used to put it on all the time. It was a staple of first grade for me. Maybe it was second grade. But it was definitely a staple. Ah, yes. Dancing with Myself. That song, that movie is the first time I heard that song as well. And that, that song is thematic because, the whole theme of the movie is loneliness. And, Roddy doesn't truly know community until he's literally flushed down the toilet. Because that's when he really, truly finds like, family. Because he's a domesticated animal. Yeah, I found the TARDIS. That was actually the first day I went there. We were in downtown London. There was a TARDIS. And my stepdad is a big Doctor Who fan. He has more patience than I do, anyway, to watch the series. So, like, he took a lot of pictures in front of it. My stepdad's, like, big on sci-fi. Star Wars, Marvel. I'm not sure if he's into Star Trek. I'll have to ask him. But I'm into The Next Generation. And The Next Generation is why I love Patrick Stewart. And, another X-Men cast member. They couldn't have picked anyone better for Charles Xavier. Yeah, he's the sci-fi guy and I'm the fantasy guy. Actually, no, he likes fantasy too. He's into Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. And various fantasy-based anime. I also forgot to mention Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is his favorite anime, and that's, very hard sci-fi. I'm into a lot of, hard sci-fi stuff myself. I'm into 2001: A Space Odyssey. I'm into cyberpunk films and anime and manga. I'm into Cyberpunk 2077. I'm into Akira. Both the movie and the manga. But the manga is much better. But I love my share of science fantasy as well, like Star Wars. I'm into... It's just me, myself, I'm into a lot of, hard sci-fi, should I say. I'm not sure what X-Men falls into, but X-Men is my favorite Marvel franchise, next to Spider-Man. And there's a lot of science fiction elements in that. Of course, on the fantasy side of Marvel, you have, Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider, and I eat that shit up. But it definitely seems like Marvel usually is usually more sci-fi. Because you also have the Hulk, and the Hulk is very science fiction. The Hulk and X-Men. I'm not sure about DC in comparison. I think DC leans more into fantasy. But I'm not sure. both of them, have, lots of science fiction and fantasy elements as well as grounded elements. It's like both their universes are like mix matches of so much going on. But there's nothing wrong with a self-contained universe, though. Nothing wrong with being strictly science fiction or strictly fantasy or strictly grounded. Yeah, I like some anthro stuff, animal-based things. I'm into a lot of things that involve monsters and demons and stuff. As you can see from my demon wings on my head. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That was directed by one of the Monty Python members, actually. Terry Gilliam, who also directed Brazil, which is a fantastic movie. It's a British movie, too, but it has American actors like Robert De Niro in it. It's a really good movie. I highly recommend it. It's one of the best dystopian films of all time. But Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is a trip. Definitely a great stoner movie. Anything Terry Gilliam... It's Terry Gilliam, not Terry Gilliam. Anything he makes is really good. He and Terry Jones both directed The Holy Grail. Monty Python and The Holy Grail. The two Terrys, should I say. He may have been born in America, but he had a lot of influence on the Monty Python franchise. Considering how batshit insane Monty Python usually is, he was the perfect choice for the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas movie. Not all British humor is dry. British humor can also be over the top, and Monty Python is proof of that. Monty Python actually inspired a lot of SpongeBob style of humor, so that's something to think about. I've never seen Benny Hill, but I know the famous saxophone song. I was talking about Johnny Depp the other day on Discord. He was in adaptation of the British graphic novel From Hell. And I think it was a decent movie, but it's definitely nowhere near as good as the graphic novel is. The graphic novel is a must-read. But From Hell is easily Alan Moore's most British work next to V for Vendetta. Like, he was really getting in touch with his British roots there. And Watchmen was more like, it was definitely more of an American story. It was a commentary on American politics, whereas V for Vendetta was a commentary on British politics. And From Hell was a historical account on Jack the Ripper. But Johnny Depp can do a really good British accent. Like, he may be an American, but like how Daniel Day-Lewis can do a good American accent, Johnny Depp can do a good British accent. He's like the perfect mirror to Daniel Day-Lewis. They're both like really good actors. They really couldn't have chosen anyone better for There Will Be Blood. Yeah, something you know about me, I'm a huge cinemaphile. Going back to the whole physical media thing. Not only am I a big otaku, but I'm also... I'm also a huge cinemaphile. So whenever a film comes up, I'm probably going to geek about it. But I'm mostly into comics and like stuff like that, manga. I'm so glad to see manga getting the mainstream attention it deserves. It's literally more popular than American comic books are now. Like manga and anime to an extent are more popular than American TV shows are now, and that's insane. I think that's really insane. But I enjoyed watching some British themed productions in um, when I was in London. I wanted to watch Monty Python, but we didn't have time, so we just went with Aardman stuff. Pokemon in particular feeds into my enjoyment of animals, even if some of them are literally human-like. Are there human-like Pokemon? Do not know. Maybe ones who are bipedal. I think I need to get one of the Pokemon games on the eShop. But I'm glad I did what I did over there. My brother, my friend, we make a really good team together. Even if I'm not into trains, despite the autism, I'm glad I saw my brother and my friend having a great time. You'd think everybody with autism would be into trains, um, but we really aren't. I thought I'd be into trains too. I did watch quite a bit of Thomas when I was younger, and I did like it. We are a writing themed community, so share whatever you want. But just don't make it all about you is the thing. But you will quickly come to realize that, my whole shtick is mostly about like fiction writing and drawing and stuff. I actually need to get back into drawing. And, the whole thing about the bass and the tuba are both hobbies. And gaming is a hobby as well. I'm surprised by how good I stream games. Like, that alone could probably get me popular. Like, if you saw Trombone Champ, like, I was killing it at that game. Hoping we see more Ultra Beasts in the future. I wonder what kind of waifus will be in the new Pokemon game, because that's really all I care about with Pokemon these days. Because Pokemon games have the optimization of they have the optimization of a herd of cow shit. But if what game is Game Freak working on now? They're working on a new game for PC and PS5 and Xbox Series X. Beast of Reincarnation. Look at that game compared to their Pokemon games, and you can see that Game Freak, when they're actually given a proper budget, they can make something really good. Problem is they're not given a proper budget for Pokemon. They're just, since it's so popular, they're like, here, go ahead, make this. It has nothing to do with Nintendo's hardware either, because there are a lot of really pretty games on the Switch and Switch 2. Even AAA, like third-party AAA games that look really good on the Switch. Final Fantasy VII Remake looks incredible and plays like a dream. Cyberpunk 2077 looks incredible. Fallout 4 looks incredible. And you all know, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom look incredible. Look even better on the Switch 2 even. Japanese or Western games, they can look great on the Switch. I heard Resident Evil Requiem looks really good on Switch too, but I couldn't do with the 30 frames per second, so I kind of skipped the Switch 2 version of that. If it is, I think there's probably a mode that can give it higher frame rates, but I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it. It can probably support higher frame rates. Probably. Because I would like to play that game on the go. Now, see, something like Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think that works at 30 frames per second. So I guess Resident Evil 9 could work at 30 frames per second as well. So yeah, what were we talking about before? I think we were talking about British entertainment. So anyway, I kind of impulse buyed From Hell, the graphic novel, but it came out, like, the first copy that came to me, there was, like, a bad rip on the back. So I had to order another one, and I'm like, at this point, am I even going to read it? I already have a lot of shit that I still need to read. Of course, I was talking about my time in Britain. That's what the whole thing's about. There's a lot I want to talk about with Britain. The bus tour was a really good one. That's when I went to see Big Ben right behind me. Buckingham was pretty. Very pretty. That came definitely not behind me. I can't remember what stop Buckingham Palace was, but we got to see a bit of it. We got to take pictures. We took a lot of pictures of Big Ben. We went around Big Ben 3 times, I believe, because we wanted to stop at this famous department store called Harrods for lunch, but it was like a ways to go. So we were kind of spending like 2 hours on the bus, but it was a really good 2 hours. I definitely will remember this trip for a long time, I believe, despite the frustrations that happened. And there were quite a few. Regarding the buses and stuff like that. And trying to get everybody together. But Big Ben was like, Baby Snow was into that because he likes clocks. So we were like, hickory dickory dock, the mouse went up the clock struck 1, the mouse went down, hickory dickory Ben. It's like the big clock, a big clock. I think we saw Thames like 5 times total on this trip. We saw Thames when we were near the London Eye. We took like 9 million pictures of it. We wanted to ride on the London Eye, but it was like $500 for all of us, so like, or whatever, I can't remember. We already spent like a fortune on this trip, so I imagine we didn't want to spend a fortune more. It's Thames. It's not Thames. Wait, no, it's Thames. That's right. Wait, no, it's Thames. Some people pronounce it one way or another. Thames. It was magical, but you already knew that. But I will definitely remember this trip for a long time. Some of the highlights I'd like to point out, besides the bus tours, if I can think of any right now, my mind's going is like a mile an hour. Because trying to even set up the stream was like a pain in the ass, because there are things I forgot to do. Let me see. If I can go to WhatsApp, we have a London chat there. Yeah, it was double-decker bus. I wanted to go see Stonehenge, but it was like really early in the morning, so I just saw it via pictures. But the next time we go to the UK, which will be in the fall with just me and my mom, we'll get to go to Birmingham and Stonehenge, I think it will be even funner than it was. Now another friend's texting me. That was the day we went on the bus tours. But I really think one of the I think going to the train station was a highlight, even though I'm not into that stuff. Riding on the train was a lot of fun. English countryside, yeah, that's what me and my mom are going to do in the fall. We're going back to the UK in the fall. Just me and mom. A lot of the problems on this trip involved the fact that we were literally like 6 people, and it was insanity. My baby Snow is still in his terrible twos, so he's a pain in the ass to deal with. He keeps asking me about Six Flags. Why? I don't want to go to Six Flags. But of course, one of my highlights was getting like 20 pieces of pepperoni. I don't know if I said this yet, but I much prefer the hotter ones to the regular ones. The fire stick in particular is delicious. I love spicy stuff, so I don't think terrible threes are a thing. Baby Snow's birthday is actually coming up soon, and I'm gonna I got him a Spider-Man web blaster now that he's old enough to have it. I figure we can take him outside and he can run around with it. Like he can squirt me with the blaster or his dad. It also supports water, so you can put a water canister in it. I'm sure web refills do exist though, but Baby Snow's very into Spider-Man, so I figured this gift would be perfect for him. So it'd be like he's actually shooting webs, because he likes to do the whole shooting webs thing when he imitates Spider-Man. So I figured I'd get him a toy that lets him do that for real. I remember having one of those when I was a kid. It was, a tie-in for the second movie. I actually remember having Hulk hands when I was a kid. That was a tie-in for the movie in 2003. Those were like a really hot toy when I was a kid. Oddly enough, that was also the day the day I got those Hulk hands. There was a guy sitting in front of the Target playing a tuba. I thought it was actually pretty cool. I still remember. I don't know. I don't know why there was a guy sitting outside playing a tuba, but there was. When I picked up a set of Hulk hands, I'm not sure why I even bought Hulk hands. I guess mom just thought I'd like them. I'm not sure if they were my introduction to the Hulk, but I loved having them as a kid. And like I said, they were a really hot toy back then. They were like the most popular toy of 2003. Even though the movie was not very well received. The movie, looking back, is actually not that bad. Granted, it could be better, but thus far, it's probably the most comic accurate depiction of the Hulk as a character. Not just, from his brute rage, but his emotional problems stemming from his abusive father. The Hulk is actually, Marvel's most tragic character. Man, just poor Bruce. Like, Spider-Man, at least Spider-Man had a loving, loving uncle and aunt. His parents died when he was a baby, I think. But, with the amount of tragedy Spider-Man endures, at least he had a loving family. Bruce had a really shitty father who killed his mother. And that's why, that's one of the things that caused him to transform into the Hulk, besides getting exposed to gamma radiation. All his suppressed emotions. It was very much a rabbit hole. A lot of people just think he turned into the Hulk because of gamma radiation, but the character studies and psychology suggest otherwise. There's many factors into why he became the Hulk. And I think the movie did a pretty good job of that. But the movie did have a lot of problems, especially since also split his personality like potato being turned into chips. His character is actually more complex than Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is even. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is basically straightforward. Like, a lot of Jekyll's inner demons got split into Mr. Hyde. A lot of his darkest desires and stuff. It's if Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde is a commentary on like human nature, then the Incredible Hulk is a commentary on human emotion. But Dr. Jekyll Mr. Hyde was very straightforward. Like, his inner demons got split into a different personality, while Dr. Jekyll was like all friendly and stuff. I think Professor Hulk was like the brains and brawn, but not a lot of people like Professor Hulk. I could see why, but having Bruce be more under control of his Hulk persona is a good story. Is a good story decision. I know people would rather him have limited vocabulary and have him just smashing everything, but him having more control over his powers, I think is a good thing. Now Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde's a great British novel. Great British piece of fiction. If you're gonna read novels and like standard written work, gotta be British. There are a lot of really good Japanese novels too, though. Robert Louis Stevenson, man. Of course, can't forget about Treasure Island either, which is, a very different work from Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Gotta love British literature. In terms of, like, standard literature, British literature is my favorite. That's why, the comics boom of, like, the British invasion of comics in the 80s and 90s was very important. Alan Moore was one of them. The British invasion of comics, is what led to the creation of the Vertigo imprint. First edition to the book. Kind of reminds me of what happened with Carrie by Stephen King. Stephen King didn't like it, but his wife suggested like he publish it. And that's the book that made him a writing superstar. That's what solidified him as a master of horror writing. Because before that, he was a teacher, if you didn't know. And then he wanted to, write books. So he wrote Carrie, and he was, he's into macabre stuff. So he wrote Carrie as his first horror novel. We wouldn't have the Stephen King today if his wife didn't suggest that he publish it. Of course, we really can't, we don't talk about the NES game of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. That probably would have made for a great April Fool's Day video. Nah, I don't think I want to torture myself that much. I don't hate myself that much. Have you ever went to Wales? No, I haven't gone to Wales. I think that would make for a great trip, though. No. Oh. I would like to go to Wales. I'd like to go to Scotland, too. But I definitely think the trip would have been easier if it was less people. We were originally not going to bring baby Snow. We were going to leave him with his grandfather, who is my stepdad's dad. Because he's just a baby. He really doesn't, he doesn't really understand any of this. He just thinks about himself. Thinks about napping, playing, running around. He just wants to run around everywhere, but, we can't let him, especially in a foreign country, so he always threw fits. Don't want to sit in the cradle. Don't want to sit down. That's why we give him his own play area at home. So he can run around as many times he wants, whenever he wants, without getting himself hurt. I think if he wasn't with us, it would be less stressful. That's really what caused a lot, kind of tension between me and Mom when we were at Tesco. Because, I didn't understand how Tesco worked. So I needed her to explain to the people working there that I wasn't trying to steal anything, because I went through the front entrance trying to get out with the groceries, which I paid for, but, you know, I didn't have a receipt with me because I'm not used to getting receipts. So, you know, they had to stop me, and I had to prove to them that I paid for them, and so I needed Mom to come and explain because, you know, I have autism. And so Mom was, like, annoyed with me because, I don't know. My mom is annoyed at, like, so many things. But I don't think she would have been as annoyed if Simon wasn't giving her a hard time. And we didn't get to go to Birmingham because of that, because we were just all overstimulated. And Simon just kept hitting my mother over and over. Wait, who's Simon? Baby Snow kept hitting my mom over and over again. You see, I feel like I don't need receipts to buy groceries because they're just groceries. Like, you're supposed to get receipts? I mean, the cameras can literally see you buying them with money. I really never felt like I had to show receipts for that. But it was a really good trip. We managed to ride the underground subway a lot of times, and that was definitely magical, I think. That's technically a train, and Kyle was... Wait, who's Kyle? Who's Kyle? I'm just saying random words. Red Bro was geeking out about getting to ride in a London subway. My friend was also geeking out about it as well, but not as much as when he went to Bluebell Station to ride an authentic British train. That was, you know, that was where all the fun was. Let's see. I think after this chat, I'm gonna, you know, switch to Trombone Champ. So, you know, we have some time filler, because the title, if you read the title, chat plus game. So I think after this, I'm going to put on Trombone Champ. You know, maybe I'll put it on right now. I think I really, man, I spent a lot of time geeking out about this trip. Yeah, sure. I'll put on Trombone Champ, and we'll get some time in. All right. Let me put myself down here a bit. Oh, I love this title card. What's going on? There we go. Let's see. Which trombone should we go with? Muted, 8-bit. Just let me update some things. We can always go bass. I love bass trombones. You'll probably recognize this famous Russian folk song from a famous puzzle game. Gee, I wonder what that could be. Hang on, I need to make some room. I'm kinda... Here we go. Oh my god! Oh, whoa, whoa! Oh, jeez. Jeez. Whew. Let's go back and choose an 8-bit sound front. Remember when the Happy Birthday song was copyrighted? I need to figure out how to unlock more shit. I think you need to get, like, more cards. Ah, bass clef. I heard you need a bass clef card. There we go. Aye. Hello there. You have done well to discover me, lad. My name is Bass Master Blend. Speaking of British. If you wish it, I will now share the full truth of the trombone champ. What the fuck? Should Bassmaster Ben not stop in stopping the Oh my god, this is... Wait, no, Okay, I want to unlock more content. I still need more colors, more, I need the fart sound front. It's so ridiculous. Would you like... Okay. Would you like me to not stop... Are you fucking kidding me? Ugh. The turd vessel. Oh, screw you. You equate bass notes with poop sounds. I wonder if this is like words spoken backwards or if it's just jumbled shit like Animal Crossing. Oh, come on. I'm physically face palming right now. Ah, okay. Whew. Alright, I got the right answer. Alright, we need more turds. Rachmaninoff. I think this game... Whoever made this game is a hot dog file. Whoever made this game is a hot dog file. I want to try 8-bit with Down by the Riverside. Wait, no, let's try William Tell. Oof. Oh, B. All right. I want to try that with the fart song. I'm gonna try Down by the River something. No, I want to do that with farting. I want to... Let's try this. Let's try this. Fucking piece of bread. Woo! So we need more toots so we can get more cards. Let's go back to base. Can afford one sack. Cause we need the turd, we need, like... So wait, how do you get turds again? Do you like have to play wrong notes to get turds? Let's see. Let's go back. You do need a treble clef too, I believe. So let's see if we can get, There's a trombone card. I guess you could turn on wanted cards too. Need more toots. I'm still going with Trixie Belle because she's cute. Das Macabre. I'm not doing Christmas songs. I really want to unlock the freaking fart sound front so we can make it sound funny with serious songs. The song always makes me think of that one Looney Tunes cartoon. I think it was called Pigs in a Polka. Whew. Almost an S. Go to cards. Fast buy. The slide. This is a funny part of the trombone. Sac boot. Now we have a treble clef. We'll have to go to that later. All right. What have we unlocked now? I don't feel like doing the Fist of the North Star thing right now. Sound set in the club. I don't... What is that? I guess that means we're close to... I guess that means we're close to, I don't know what it sounds like, though. Let's do another girl. Let's do Appaloosa. Maybe this one would be good for our club tune. That's a synthesizer. She looks so happy. Max Tundra. I don't know who you are. This is just... People who made this game were high. That's... Oh, there's Max Tundra. Like, the people who made this game were definitely high on something. Sounds so funny. Horns are funny instruments. They really are. Let's go ahead and toot for a little bit. Let's go back to bass trombone. The Ritz. I feel like that'd be funny on fart. You know, that would be funny. We're definitely doing that. We're doing that with a fart. Are you ready? Let's try this. Ska bird. on my arm. Yeah, well, B. Look, it's not so bad. Let's try Beethoven's Fifth. Alright, cards. Get those turds. Alright, we gotta... I'm like 3 turns off. Come on, I'm 3 turds off. What is this? What happens? happens if I do this. I just want the fart sound from it. So that I could... that's really what I'm looking for. Excuse me. Ah, silver trombone. Silver's a good color. The song that's used in every comedy movie trailer. Alright. Where are we on? What are we unlocking this time? We got it! We got it! We got it, bro. We got it! Now, time to do what I've always wanted to do. Yeah, America's all about money. Yeah, fuck you. This is what you deserve. I hope Stars and Stripes Forever doesn't get muted. Look, I love Sousa, but, yeah, I can't bring myself to celebrate this song anymore. sorry, Sousa. This is not the America you grew up in. Alright, pack it up, everybody. Pack it up. I think we reached a peak. We reached a peak already. Pack it up. Pack it up.